Welcome to the Poetic Resurrection podcast, where we explore perceptions. How self-reflecting questions can give you a better understanding of self. I'm your host, Sonia Iris Lozada. Stay tuned. This week on Poetic Resurrection, we discuss confusion. Sometimes I wonder why we go through experiences and maybe read too much into it, and then we're confused. This month didn't get off to a great start for me. My computer crashed, and I'm still recovering my info. I usually have an episode ready each Monday, but that has not happened this month. One of the pluses so far this month is that I visited my family in Chicago, and I am blessed to have my parents in good health. What is confusion? The dictionary's definition is lack of understanding or uncertainty, the state of being bewildered or unclear in one's mind about something. Why do we feel this way? Is it because our heart, soul, wants us to change? I've noticed when I feel confused is when my heart and my mind are at odds. Your intellect may be confused, but your emotions will never lie to you. Roger Ebert. I feel I should go one way on a situation, but my mind disagrees. The most confused we will ever get is when we're trying to convince our heads of something our heart knows is a lie. Marie Moning. Your eyes may mislead you sometimes, so don't be serious in observing. Listen to your heart at times when you are confused. Giridhar Alwar. Is it fear? Most likely, what stops us from going forward is fear. Do we have the finances to change? Will I lose my home? Is my family okay if I decide to move on? Are you ruled by possessions? At times, our financial burdens are because we give our power away to possessions. We have to have the latest electronics, fashions, cars, appliances, etc. It's one thing if your employment requires the equipment. It's your livelihood. Or if you have the cash to buy the items. Another is if you're getting into debt for them. I have in the past bought items because I thought I would be perceived as well-to-do. I wasn't. I lived from paycheck to paycheck. Many of us do. This isn't how I want to live my life. It's stressful not to have your rent, your mortgage, money to pay bills, and I have been guilty of using my credit cards to survive in times of unemployment. No matter how confused or deluded we might be at the moment, the underlying and essential nature of our being is clear and pure. Lama Yishi. During the pandemic, many of us learned what's important, and surprisingly, I saw many who refused to change and blamed the pandemic, politics, and companies for their problems. This is known as one aspect in psychology called psychological projection. Psychological projection is a process of misinterpreting what is inside as coming from outside. It forms the basis of empathy by projection of personal experiences to understand someone else's subjective world. In its malignant forms, it is a defense mechanism in which the ego defends itself against disowned or highly negative parts of the self by denying their existence in themselves and attributing them to others, breeding misunderstanding and causing untold interpersonal damage. A bully may project their own feelings of vulnerability onto the target, or a person who is confused may project feelings of confusion and inadequacy onto other people. Projection incorporates blame shifting and can manifest as shame dumping. Projection has been described as an early phase of introjection. Wikipedia. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Stephen Covey. The poem for this week is Same from Inspire Me Raw. Contemplating day after day wonders of fate, searching for work, organizing, wondering what I'll do today, decorating, writing this, not knowing the end. At this point in my life, I thought I'd succeed. By this time, a house, a car, children, husband. None of these. Strange thing, content, I think. So much, so little, overwhelmed, organized, decorate. Right. Stability? Day after day, I do the same. Thank you for listening to the Poetic Resurrection podcast, available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Music, and many other podcast platforms. Please visit us and subscribe to our newsletter at poeticresurrection.com for the latest information and updates.